Hi guys, welcome back to the High Grade Podcast. It's your girl Chanel.
And Chanel.
And today's episode we are talking all about, can you be successful alone? But before we get started, can you guys please make sure you click the subscribe button, or if you're listening to us on the audio, please just give us a 5-star review. Yep, Chloe, I'm talking to you, honey. So the idea of can you be successful alone, I think let's just kick it off because yesterday when we were planning this, we both put it up on our Instagrams, and I was quite shocked at the responses, because when we were discussing it, I was very much like, yes, you can be successful alone.
Yeah.
And you were like, no. You need help along the way. So tell us your thoughts, Shan.
Yeah, I don't think you can be successful alone. Now, I think that along the way, you do need help, and it's not help as in getting handouts. It's help as in everybody will have days where they have dark days and they need like a pick-me-up. So what about the people that are there motivating you, inspiring you, helping you to do better? That's helping you along the way. And I think that maybe people, misinterpreted the question a little bit in terms of thinking that maybe it was some sort of handout or some sort of like gift, or as in that sort of help. Okay. Whereas they maybe didn't realise that help can come in all different shapes and forms. And your partner, your friend, or anyone helping you on a bad day where you feel like giving up whatever you're doing is help along the way.
Yeah. Something that might be helpful is if we sort of dive a little bit deeper into your sort of journey. And I think it's important to note that, yes, we're talking about success along the way. And again, success can be subjective. We've always said this. But if we just look at success for the purpose of this episode as, you know, reaching a particular destination, whether that be a goal that you've had in mind or attaining some type of status or whatever it is, let's just say that is what success is meaning for this episode. So you've got your end destination is essentially financial freedom, and you've got your sort of property business up and running. So give us a little bit more information in terms of when you started it, where you're at now, and from where you started to where you are now, have you had help along the way? And potentially without that help, would you be where you are right now?
Oh, okay. So I started my property journey maybe about a year ago now. I think February, March 2019. So just over a year ago now. To this date, we've got 5 properties, which is amazing, and there has been a lot of hard work and a lot of kind of picking ourselves back up and dusting ourselves off. So it's been really, really hard, but there is no way on this earth that I would have got to that point by myself. And I can say that with kind of humility and almost a sense of like, I'm comfortable knowing that I wouldn't get there by myself. I've had so much help along the way, which has come in all sorts of shapes and forms. Like at the beginning of my journey, I relied a lot on people that were already in the industry, that were a lot further along than I was, just to shoot them a question and just say, hey, I've got this situation, or I'm doing this and it's not working. Can you help me out? Now, without someone that was one level above me to help inspire me, to answer my questions, I don't think I would have got to where I am today. Now, that's one shape or form. The other is there's been so many days where I just don't want to do it anymore. Like at the moment with the pandemic, things are really hard with property.
Can't fill no rooms.
We can't fill our rooms. People are leaving because they've lost their job, and an income that we've had regularly for the past however long is kind of crumbling away, and there's nothing we can do about it. And so many times when someone gives in their notice to leave, to say they're leaving, I'm like, I'm going to pack it in. I don't want to do it anymore. That's it now. Literally, I've said things like, in jest, but I've said things like, these tenants are driving me into depression. If this person don't take the room, take me to the nearest bridge because I'm done. Like, obviously all in jest. But that's how it makes me feel. And I've just been so ready sometimes to just be like, do you know what? Like, it's not worth the stress. Like, I can do something else. I can find something else. But it's only the people that I've had around me that have said, do you know what, even you, when I said it to you the other day, you said to me, it's part of the journey. Everyone's going through it. We can't have the good of COVID, of being able to work from home. Obviously our startups have come from COVID, and then not take the bad.
It's funny though, because I was in the car the other day with my dad, and we were talking about something completely different, but he literally said, with every blessing comes a curse. And it's such a simple saying, but when you think of anything positive, there's always a negative that sort of not necessarily comes directly from it, but there has to be some sort of balance. So it's true, like what you said, yes, you know, so many great things have come from COVID and us being able to reconnect again, and so many other things. But actually with COVID comes with the fact that, you know, unfortunately people have passed away, people have lost their jobs, we can't fill our rooms, but it comes and goes, doesn't it? So with that being said, then, with all of the help that you've had along the way, I think now that you've explained that to me, I think a lot of people sometimes view help in different ways.
I think that someone helping you, or not even helping you, but guiding you, doesn't take away from your success. Like, it doesn't mean you're any less successful. If I reach my goals that I want to, I become financially free and, do you know what I mean, I'm comfortably living, I'm not going to turn around and be like, well, I didn't earn that because I had help and guidance and inspiration along the way. You can have those people that are born into wealthy families, there are people that are given opportunities on a plate and they still don't utilize them. They still are unsuccessful, they still don't achieve what they want to in life. So you can have all the resources on a plate, but if you don't use them, then, do you know what I mean? It doesn't take away from your success. And I think maybe some people think, oh, if I had help, then I didn't do it. Like, but that's not the case. Yeah. You still put on a successful event, even with help, but you still did it because you didn't have to utilize admin staff.
No.
You didn't have to, do you know what I mean? So I think that sometimes people kind of feel like it takes away from their own success when it's not the case. And
do you know what? It's funny you say this, because again, I think this kind of segues really nicely into sort of another topic that we had discussed yesterday, which was, you know, there's always this big sort of argument around competition versus collaboration. And first of all, asking for help, I think, can be viewed in two ways. I think there's a group of people who are polarized to the left, and it's like, if I ask for help, that means, you know, I can't be self-made, it means I didn't do it alone, and I just want to do it alone for my own self-satisfaction, to know that this is what I had created by myself on my own, and I did it off of my own merits. But then there's another group of people who are completely at the other end of the spectrum, who are like, yeah, do you know what, I did have help along the way. And help, again, comes in many different forms. It could be someone who's more further along the way than you. It could be someone who's equal in your journey, but, you know, you're experiencing it together and you've got that comfort of someone who's experiencing it with you. It can come in so many different forms. But there's people who are not necessarily ashamed of, yeah, do you know what, I did have help along the way. But actually that vulnerability of accepting that you've had help along the way probably, I guess, makes the journey more, what's the word? It makes it more like worthwhile to know that, you know, it was hard, but you didn't let your ego get the best of you.
Yeah, definitely. I think I used to be like that. So when I first started my journey, I've been part of mastermind groups, I've been in accountability groups, I've had mentors, and I was always afraid to ask the question because I didn't want to look like the one who didn't know, or like the stupid one that asked a stupid question. And then it was only when my partner said, like, stop being afraid to ask questions, because I'm only limiting myself if I am too proud or too scared to just reach out and ask for help, because people are not going to think, oh, what a bum, she asked for help. People don't think that. And I just think the quote, go fast alone or go further together. Yeah, so it's not about people giving you like the golden ticket to get to the top and doing all the work for you. It's about utilizing the people around you. Competition is healthy. We said that yesterday. Competition is healthy, but also collaboration is great. I think that if I use us as an example, me and Shin, I'm very, very competitive. Shin is very competitive.
No, but you were just competitive in the most ridiculous forms.
Why?
Because when you lose,
knock me off.
when you lose Monopoly Deal, you proper have a hump.
I'm fuming.
You proper have a hump.
I did for like 2 minutes though, and then
you
I'm
throw
fine.
the cards. You're like, nah, I don't want to play no more.
Yeah, I'm a bad loser, but I'm very competitive. Like, I don't like to lose, and like, don't mind coming in second place. But when I lose, like, that hurts my soul. I don't like losing, so I'm very competitive. But I think if we use us as an example, put the games aside. If we talk about like business and life, like, I feel like we have whether you know it or not, like a healthy competition between us, in terms 100%. Of I might look at Shin and think, oh my god, like she's being really productive, I need to level up. And I'll use this as an example. So your partner got a new job. Woo! And then I remember like me and my partner having a conversation about it, saying how proud we were, how hard he's worked for it, and how disciplined that he's been to get that job.
100%.
And then I remember me and my partner having a conversation about it, and we had like a little bit of an off week where we've been trying to fill the rooms and it's taken us out of our routine. And we were like, we need to do better. Like, we need to do better. And it's not like it's not a jealousy, it's not an envy, it's competition in a healthy form.
Of course.
Because we see someone, like, we're inspired, they're really like, they're our really close friends, we're inspired by them, we're so proud of them, but we don't want to be left behind.
But you know what? It's funny you say that, because myself and my partner also have the same conversations about you and your partner.
Really?
Yeah, because I think you're very like, there's an extreme of like productivity, and I think I sit quite like in the middle, but closer to like the top. And I think like you are like, or you and him are like just all the way to the top. You're like, yep, no phone, yep, no this, no that. And you're just so like regimented in the way that you approach things. And I think while that doesn't work for me, it pushes me to want to explore ways that I can be more productive. So I think not even having to acknowledge it by having a conversation to say that there is a healthy competition between us, but it's just acknowledging like your network. And again, like with this whole pandemic thing, me wanting to, you know, take a step out of my comfort zone. And remember, I was like trying to message you and ask you.
It was so funny.
Yeah, I was trying to. So basically, you know, you guys know I took like the jump to like being part-time, taking a new job at Crystal Palace, but also, you know, have taken this new sort of route because I want to pursue something that is, you know, more in line with my passion, rather than just working for another man 9 to 5, well, not even 9 to 5, but 7 to 7, and just like burning out continuously. And I wanted to seek advice from someone who I valued their opinion. And I think this is probably another podcast episode, but it's like you have to be careful with who you seek advice from, because I think you can't seek advice from someone who isn't, I don't want to say too much, but I just think that you can't seek advice from everyone, because a lot of people will advise you but will have no grounding or no backing behind how or what they're saying to you. And so I sought out your help, your advice, and you know, we had a very fruitful discussion which led to obviously Elevate, which is what we have together now. And had I not plucked up the courage, I guess, to speak to you and, you know, have flesh out what was in my sort of mind with you, I'm not sure that I would have taken the leap as quickly, or I'm not sure that we would have ended up where we are today, which is on this podcast with Elevate, with loads of other things along the way. And I think it's okay to ask for help. And I think almost that if you have someone around you or someone who's within your network who is doing what you want, or is on the way or on some type of journey that is similar to yours, and you're not reaching out to them, or you're not going to utilize them along the way, I think that is really, really, really stupid. And I think there's a blueprint out there already. Don't try and recreate something, reinvent the wheel for something that has already been done and something that's already there. I think there's benefits for creating something by yourself, but if someone around you is already doing what you want, your first port of call should essentially be to have a chat with them, have a discussion with them, and see how you can take what they've given you and, you know, utilize that in your life, but also how you can take what they've given you to adapt to whatever you're doing. So I think now that I'm speaking about it, probably no, you can't be successful along the way. But then again, from perspective wise, I think you don't necessarily need someone else to feel success.
Yeah, it's not impossible. I'm sure if someone out there wanted to be like, do you know what, I'm going to ask for no help, no guidance, blah blah blah, you probably could. I'm not saying it's impossible to you, but it's almost, why would you want to? You don't get an extra gold star or extra credit for being self-made with no help. And it's just, why would you want to? There's a really good quote by Gary Keller, who wrote The One Thing. He owns the biggest real estate business in the world. I'm just going to look at my laptop because I don't know off by heart, but he said everyone has one person who either means the most to them or was the first person to influence, train or manage them, which I think kind of sums up the whole thing, that you do have someone that you look up to. I look up to you, I look up to so many people that are around me that are around me, and why try and do it by myself when I'm surrounded by amazing people that can push me even further. I'll get a lot further and I'll do a lot better, I'll be a lot richer by using the people around me
100.
rather than trying to do it myself. It makes no sense. But why do you think? Because I remember when Shin told me that she was going to leave her kind of secure, full-time, well-paid job, take a pay cut, go part-time, and she was so nervous. And I remember she kept saying to me, I need to tell you something. And it's so annoying if anyone ever tells you, I need to tell you something, and then they just like piss off and you don't hear from them for ages. And you're sitting there wondering, oh my God, like, is she pregnant? Okay? Is everything okay?
No, we're not doing that. We're absolutely not doing that.
But you're sat there wondering, is everything okay? Have I done something? Is she well? Is she happy? Is she healthy? And she took ages. And then I had to say to her, like, Shin, you said you had something to say. Do you want to say it? Yeah. Or so why do you think you were so...
I think it's... Oh, you're really drawing it out of
I
me.
am. Because it will help someone who may be sitting there thinking, I don't need help.
It's just, in my head, the decision kind of made sense. Like, if I really break it down, like, I've been in teaching 4 years, and every year I've got a pay increase and I've got a promotion, and I'm now head of sixth form. And it's like, it's almost like bragging rights. Like, you're 26, head of sixth form, and that's like a really high profile role in a school. And then I'm almost like on a track to progression. So like, obviously in my head, the natural steps would be an assistant principal, be a deputy, one day be a head teacher. And for me, that was the route that I was heading at. And, you know, I had conversations with other people in the school, and they were like, yep, you know, you can 100% be a head teacher. And I was like, okay, wow, like, that's great, kind of thing. But then obviously with all of the other work stuff going on, work politics, I'm sure you guys all know about that. Again, probably another podcast episode. But to then leave that pathway almost turn right, do a U-turn, hit a dead end, crash your car, and then completely leave that, go part-time, pursue some wild idea in my head that at that moment in time when I had spoken to you was not necessarily a fully fleshed out idea, people would think you're mad. Like, to the point where I didn't even tell my mum. Like, so I guest featured on someone else's podcast. It's on my Instagram, but I'll link it somewhere. And that was me recording that and sending it to my mum was the first time my mum found out what I was doing. Because it's the fear, isn't it? Because there's such an expectation that, you know, you must work full time. You're in this great job. Why on earth would you leave this job for uncertainty, essentially? Because that's what it is. You know, you're taking a pay cut, you're going part-time, you're pursuing something that might not actually work out. And I guess my fear was, it kind of made sense in my head. I guess it like 60% made sense in my head, but I didn't want to almost feel embarrassed and like speak to someone about it and then be like, Chanel, you're nuts. Like, why would you do that? And for me, that was like my worst fear, being like, having the confidence to even entertain another opportunity almost. And then for someone to say, nah, Shin, like, don't do that. Like, just work. And that was like my fear, which is why I had to be very selective with who I sought advice from. Because again, people's advice stems from their morals, beliefs, so on and so forth. And so had I spoken to maybe someone else who, you know, was very much so, you know, get a job security, you stay in that job for X amount of years, pension, this and that. Again, nothing wrong with that. But had I sought advice from someone whose mindset was that way inclined, I may not have taken the step that I did. So I purposely chose you because I know that despite you being much younger than me, you're level-headed, we've kind of I wouldn't say we think the same, but our end goal is financial freedom and financial stability and not having to work for someone else, essentially. And so I needed to flesh out that idea, but I was just scared and just like embarrassed that what I had chosen or what I was pursuing was going to be seen as ridiculous in the eyes of someone else. And I think where I've always held myself in, like, I know what you're about to say now. You're about to, you remember that card that we saw yesterday when you were like
Mrs. Uppity? Yeah.
But I've always, but like, you know, when you always want to like hold yourself as like in like a high regard, like you care about what people think about you or what they say about you and how people view you. I didn't want people to like look at me and be like, oh, there's Chanel, what a dum-dum, like she just left her full-time
A dum-dum.
yeah, what a dum-dum, like she left her full-time job and look what she's doing now. Look, like she's so dumb. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not that even matters, like, because again, like, who cares? But there is always that thing inside of you that cares what people think. And so, like, without people along the way to lift you up and give you advice and even just someone to talk to, I think that is like, that's a path to success. But those people may not be directly helping you, but if someone's keeping you grounded, if someone's keeping you balanced, if someone is fleshing out ideas with you and just being like a support system, I think that is support and help along the way. And I don't think we should discount the help of others. I think we should absolutely acknowledge the fact that we do and should seek help along the way to success. But when you do get to that point, whatever that point is to you, that success is sort of yours and yours alone. And I think you can, you know, say, yeah, so and so helped me out along the way. Like, you know, when you, like, the artist received like a Grammy award and they say shout out to da 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 da, without them da 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 da, and I think that is almost like a prime example of the fact that you cannot make it to the top. Because if you look at someone who's achieved like a MOBO award, or does that even still happen? MOBO awards,
I think so. Maybe not with Corona.
Yeah, like, but an award, literally, I don't even think I can recall in my head someone who's reached the stage, taken their trophy or whatever it is, and said, thanks, I did this by myself.
Yeah, thanks to me. Bye.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's actually really good. Like, because I've never known that to happen.
I've never seen that in an acceptance speech, no. But that's what I'm saying. I think maybe it'd be really interesting to see what people's answers are now after hearing our perspective on the question, because I do think people maybe misinterpreted the question a little bit, because I just don't think you can be successful alone with no help, no guidance, no inspiration, no one to pick you up when you fall down. I just don't think you can do it. And like we said before, it doesn't take away from your success. When you get to that point where you think, I made it, you did that. No one else did it for you. Because like we said, people can give you all the help in the world, but if you're not going out there and having the discipline to actually do it, then you're not going to be successful. So you still earned it. You owned it. You were successful. You did it yourself. But there's no shame in saying, do you know what? Thank you to this person. You did help me along the way. Even if you don't even know it, even if it was minimal to them or to you, still acknowledge that you had the help. There's no shame in it. I think it's powerful for people to kind of collaborate and to help each other, which kind of leads us on to another question that we asked people yesterday, and that was, why do women not support other women?
I think we had a very in-depth discussion yesterday, and to you it just didn't make sense. You couldn't understand it.
I don't understand it. I don't.
But I think it's just very simple. But I think women in general, but then I also think that it's also society. So I guess my perspective is that there's few spaces at the top for women. And I think, you know, there's so many initiatives put in place, like diversity initiatives and inclusiveness, in like organizations where they want to have a particular amount of women at the top or a particular amount of BAME individuals at the top or whatever. But because people have to make a concerted effort to make space for women, it's almost like there's not enough space for you and me. So there's one space at the top, and if you're gonna be that one spot, I have to do everything I can to ensure that it's not you and it's me. And I think you see this in films a lot, like when a woman is like at the top, and particularly in like corporate type of films like Suits or whatever, like you kind of see a group of women like kind of like sniggering in the corner, like, oh, like who did she have to like have sex with to get to the top? And it's always like we're discounting the successes of other women and saying it's because she did this, that's why she's got there. And it's almost just like that hater mentality where it's like there's not enough space for both of us. So because there's not enough space, if I can't get there, I'm going to discount the way that you got there. This is, so a friend of mine, she called it the queen bee mentality, where people just want to feel like they're the more superior one. And I think in today's society, gender roles are changing. So it's not just the woman who's at home and cooking and whatever. Like there are so many more alpha females out there. And it's like they're all clamoring to the top to try and make a name for themselves. But actually we should have like an abundance mentality where there's space for you, there's space for me, there's space for Chloe, Sandra, Becky and Felicia.
I mean, what's
all at the top.
Song?
What?
Keisha, Becca. That's what you were doing. Remember that?
Please
I
don't
can't remember the song.
don't do that again. That was embarrassing.
What's the song again?
Yeah, Keisha.
No, sing it a bit louder.
Keisha, Becky.
That's what I thought you were saying.
But yeah, I think that's when we really come down to it. That's it. And I think I've never really like seen. Okay, so here's this story. So Chanel put me in touch with a woman who could potentially be sort of someone who's passing on a property to me essentially. And she's like in her 30s, and Chanel was like, yeah, this girl is like goals. She like has lubes for every day. She's got a husband, she's got kids, she's got a banging car, she's got big rock, X amount of properties, And to me, that's like, oh my God, like I need her in my network now.
Yeah.
That's literally what I said. I said, I need her in my network now. Like whoever she is, I need her. But instantaneously, my thought wasn't, oh,
I don't want to meet her.
I don't want to meet her.
Bitch.
Yeah, but that's,
no,
but that's it.
how people, some people would have gone to that meeting. Yeah, when we met, some people would have gone to that meeting with a bit of a chip on their shoulder, a bit of jealousy, a bit of kind of like maybe a bit of an attitude. But why be like that when you can have that person on your team?
100%.
And if that person can kind of give you a bit of wisdom, she's older than us, give us a bit of wisdom so we can get to that stage when we're her age, then bring her on.
That's what I'm saying.
And we're all going for a drink next month.
I'm telling you.
Oh, it's July now, so
yeah,
in a few weeks. Yeah. But
literally that is, I think that's the definition of it all. Like when there's someone, or particularly when there's a woman who's got more than you in probably every aspect of life, like it's so easy to look at them and be like, oh, and kind of have like something negative to say. And that just stems from jealousy and just thinking that if she's got this success almost, that means there's one less spot for me.
Yeah.
When that's not the case. And it's like, well, if you can be how I see it is, if you can achieve this and you're 30, whatever, then that means I'm definitely going to be able to achieve it, because not only have I got you to look up to, but you know, you've just proved to me that it's very much so possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang around you. I'm going to call you. I'm going to speak to you so that whatever you did to get there, I can get there too. But I don't feel shame in that, because I feel like, so she owns like nurseries and all of this type of stuff, and you know, that's something, again, like you guys know, I love children, I love helping young people, whatever, and that's been a dream of like my partner and I, to open our own nursery. And you know, I started writing a business plan for a nursery like maybe 2 months ago, and I didn't know where to start, because when I was doing research on the internet, again, just be careful of what you research on the internet, it proper put me off, because it was basically saying like nursery overheads are so large that you like, it's almost like not even worth it, because your biggest cost is going to be staff, because for however many children you have, you need to have a staff to child ratio. As soon as I saw her and was like, and she said she's got nurseries, I was like, in my head, I was like, yes, let's go for, let's get in your Range Rover and let's drive to a coffee shop so we can have a conversation. But do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm about. And at no point do I, or have I ever looked at someone and been like, you've got more than me, and like in my head just had this sort of like hater mentality. I'm just all about like welcoming, yeah, do you know what, you're where I want to be, or you have what I have, or I think you're good people. Instead of looking at it with envy and competition, I'm looking at it as healthy competition, but can we collaborate to get there together? And of course it has to be a two-way street, and I'm hoping that, you know, when we do have a flourishing friendship, that I can add some value to whatever she has going on. But I think there's no harm in utilizing people around you, and like accepting that you can't do it alone. You have to have people around you, and particularly women helping women makes me happy.
It needs to be more of it. There really needs to be more of it. When I started my kind of business property journey, or whatever you want to call it, personal development journey, there's just, it made my eyes open to it a little bit more, how much women will not support women. And it's just, I just don't get it. Like, we're so powerful together, and it's a bit cliche, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, we are sisters, we are like, girls should look out for girls, because sometimes it's a little bit harder for us, but
100%.
if we're together, we can make an impact. And I think it kind of stems from just insecurity, maybe. I think if one person who may be a bit insecure sees a woman who's confident, who may be more attractive in eyes of society, who may have a better body, maybe more successful, automatically they sort of like, they envy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or she's prettier than me, she's got a bigger bum than me, she's got more money than me, she's got a better car, so do you know what, like, I don't really want to be her friend. I don't know why, I just don't really like her. But why be like that? Do you know what I mean? There's just, if Chanel got a better car, or if Chanel looked like prettier than me on like, do you know what I mean? I'd be like, go girl, like,
to be honest, even you saying that, it makes me cringe, because I just think like, why does that even have to be a topic of conversation? Like, I can say, oh my god, like, she's beautiful, or oh my god, she looks stunning, and feel no way about doing that. Like, just even you saying that to me now, it's just almost like,
some people will see a girl who, it doesn't have to be more attractive, but that's just one example, and it does happen a lot, someone who is attractive may wear makeup to the gym, who is wearing a crop top, or do you know what I mean, has a better job, and will just think, I just don't like her. I don't, you could,
for no reason,
for no reason other than maybe your own insecurities. But you just don't envy people. Like you said, the same kind of example we gave with the woman that I put you in touch with. We could have easily been like, do you know what, like, she thinks she's better than us, and she's got more money than us, she's got more properties than I have.
I love this quote. Oh, she thinks she's too nice.
Yeah.
What even is that?
What is that? If you think good, you think you're too nice,
that's
have confidence in yourself.
Yeah, you're
girl.
Damn right.
You are too nice.
Right. Because why would I not think I'm too nice? Because I believe in my sauce.
I believe in my own sauce.
Again,
I believe in my sauce.
Another podcast episode, but I think, yeah, like 100%. Like, we can't as women be screaming feminism and women empowerment, and then behind closed doors we're secretly hating on other people. Like, I feel like there's so much out there, and we have everything in abundance.
Yeah,
it's just waiting for you to get it. And so just because you have it doesn't mean I can't have it.
Yeah. Or celebrating someone else's success in whatever shape or form that comes in doesn't take away from your own. It doesn't make you any less of a woman or a person. If you celebrate someone else's success, I think it just shows that you're comfortable in yourself, and you're comfortable that you know that you can do as well.
Yeah.
But you're also, do you know what I mean? You can celebrate someone when they've done something well. There's no shame in it. I just think, yeah.
So I think we just need to be mindful.
I just think be confident in yourself. Be confident as a woman. Help each other, because we can be successful alone. Well, we can't, but
well, you can
as a woman, you can do whatever you want to do alone, but we can make an impact together. And I think you can go a lot further. And there's just something really nice in having a close relationships with women, where you uplift each other, you help each other, like you inspire each other to be the best people you can. It's lonely, like, going to the top by yourself. Literally
that's it. The journey to being an entrepreneur, or the journey of an entrepreneur, or just the journey to something better,
just to be better,
is a very lonely one. And you know, people who want to share that with you are very few and far between. So I think the more people you can take along with you, or the more people you can share it with, then why the hell not? Because you don't want to get to the top and you're just like alone. It's just lonely. So I think we're gonna sort of put an end to this now. So black and white, because we love a bit of black and white, Shan.
Black and white.
Competition or collaboration?
No, that's not black and white.
It's black and white.
Both. Healthy competition, not like egotistic and nasty and spiteful competition. Healthy competition, because that's how you grow and become better. But 100% collaborate, because further together and all that.
And can you be successful alone?
Nope.
Should you want to be successful alone?
No.
And so two things now. If there's a woman or female watching and they're like, I think I might be a secret hater of other women, what would you say to them?
I think just ask yourself why. Maybe if you can get to the bottom of actually what are the real reasons you dislike that person or this woman or that girl, because I'm sure if you actually kind of dig deep into it, that actually won't be a good enough reason. So kind of just look within yourself. Don't envy women. Like if you are inspired by someone, I'm sure if you messaged her and look, girl, you're doing amazing, how do I get to where you're getting? They'll tell you. So collaborate with them.
And then my second thing is, if someone is watching this and wants to maybe implement the things that we have discussed and spoken about, what is one action that someone can take away from this podcast?
I think whatever you're doing right now in your life, whether that be trying to become a better person through personal development, whether you're trying to go one step further in your career and you're trying to get promotion, whether you're trying to start a business, ace an exam, whatever kind of life situation you are in at the moment, go and reach out to someone who's been there, done that, and has got the gold star, and ask for that. You don't even have to ask for their help, but just go get some inspiration and motivation from them, because it will feel really good.
I like it a lot.
What about you?
So pretty similar to what you were saying, actually, because I've actually done this, but identify where you want to be and then go and find someone who is wanting the same thing as you, so you can share the journey together, or has done already what you want, and go and seek their advice and seek their mentorship. So I officially started in property last year, March, probably at the same time. Yeah. But I was probably very much so interested in it when I was, 18, 19. And there was this woman who I found on LinkedIn. She didn't live too far from me. And she was in property. And like, when you're in property, there's like almost like cults in property. So that you've got like the progressive group, you've got the Simon Zucci group, and then you've got like the other types of groups. But essentially there's like different communities, I guess, not cults, within the property industry. And so like, I kind of found her through like a community that I was part of, and I literally found her on LinkedIn, and I messaged her and I said, hi, I know this is a bit random, but my name is da 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 da, and I've seen like what you do. I like really want to like get to know you and get to speak to you a little bit more about XYZ, and probably some spiel like that basically. And I basically said like, would you be open to mentoring me? Bearing in mind, I'm like 18, so I've really got no idea. But I thought, I might as well shoot my shot. I'm not going to lose anything. And it just so happened that she was like, yeah, like, I would love to. Like, let's have a chat. Da, 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 da. And then she even invited me to her house. And like, I drove to her house and we had a chat. And it was like, oh, this is kind of cool. The thing is, I don't speak to her now. But it's just the intent behind it was like, I acknowledge that I'm just starting out. I cannot do this by myself. So let me go and see what other people can bring to the table. And there's nothing wrong with that, because the worst thing that could happen is they could blank you and just say no. But that's no love lost, because what's the chances that you might see them again in the future? Probably very slim. But then if you do, you might then be in a position where you're at the position that you wanted to be in, and then you can say, oh, well, do you remember I kind of reached out to you, da, 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 and then they will be like, oh, that would be sick, like let's chat kind of thing. Yeah. So I definitely think like go and seek out someone who is doing what you want to do, or has done what you want to do. And I think having someone around you, so I don't know if that could be like a direct friend of yours, but just have someone who can push you and just provide you with that healthy competition, because I think that healthy competition is so powerful and can be so great when it comes to you bettering yourself. Because I think I might have said this before, but it's just like, when you wake up early in the morning, I feel like I'm lagging or I'm behind if I don't wake up at the same time as you. Like, I want to have the same amount of time to be productive as you have. So if that means you're getting up at 6 and I say to you, Shan, wake me up at 6:10, I'm already 10 minutes behind. So when she's going to the toilet after her coffee, I've got to make sure that I'm not going toilet. But do you know what I mean? It's just that healthy competition. Like, obviously we laugh about it now, but trust me, guys,
it's nice. Like, it's not. And the thing is, you know what? It's generally nice because, again, we're two women, and it's never in a spiteful way. Like, 100%. We don't look at each other and think, oh, she's done. Like, when Shin got her new job, I could have been like, oh, this girl's always getting good things happening to her. Like, what a bitch. But I wasn't. I was so happy for her.
I'm sure people out there are thinking
they probably are, yeah. But it's not me, so it's fine. There's just so much love in finding someone, especially a woman who you can form like a close sister bond with. You just help each other, you push each other, and you just motivate each other to be better, because there's definitely enough room for both of us at the top. Definitely. And I don't want to get to the top and leave like Chanel behind, or because then it's boring. Like, I want us both to go shopping sprees and Selfridges.
I like it a lot. I think my probably last note is that, you know, there's, as much as we don't want to admit it as women, there's still a glass ceiling. And if I'm the only one at the top, I can't break that glass ceiling. So I need other women up there with me so that the power and the impact of more of us can help break that glass ceiling. So when you see someone who could be better than you in whatever way you think that is, don't see it as, oh, she thinks she's too nice, or she thinks she's this. Like, she probably does think she is, and too right, because she's probably worked hard.
Deserved it, yeah.
She probably worked hard to get there. But so just change your mentality and change your perspective in terms of how you are viewing that, because there's nothing wrong with just women helping other women. And I think that just needs to be a hard pill that a lot of women just need to swallow. Like, be confident in your source. Don't be insecure. Like, you probably have maybe some insecurities, but that's for you to sort of overcome and dissect, and not putting that on someone else.
Yeah, your insecurities and your jealousy is only going to hold you back. Like, it's not going to hold the person that you're jealous of back, because she's going to still flourish and do what she has to do. It's only going to hold you back, and it's only going to leave you like in a position that you don't want to be in. So instead of kind of when another woman does something well or has something that you want, instead of thinking, oh, like, I don't know, she did this to get to it, or she got it easy, she got it handed to her, why don't you just reach out to her and be like, girl, well done, like, how did you did it? Like, I want to be on that level, because I know if I got a message like that, I'd be so like honoured, and I'd be like, come on, like, let's help each other.
So 100%. So guys, we hope you enjoyed today's episode. Remember, don't forget to rate and review our audio podcast. If you liked our video, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, because I know that there's people watching and you lot ain't trying to subscribe, honey. Okay, women empowerment, especially if you're a woman. Yep, Chloe. Yep. You just,
and if you like this episode, why don't you share it? Show a bit of women empowerment. That's right. Share it on your social media.
The message, or the messages and the gems that we drop, is beneficial to everyone, not just a woman, not just a man. So we hope you enjoyed the podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at The High Grade Podcast. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.